Hey, I'm Tony, and welcome to the showcase of Sorry, wrong flag. Welcome to the showcase of Ryujanada. Ryujanada is a very interesting place with many diverse landform regions, local legends, and passive-aggressive neighbors. Before we go any further into Ryujanada, out of respect, we will play its national anthem. Ryuji, for real, 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 Ryuji, for real. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, let's move on to the cabinet and the way Ryujanada governs itself. Ryujanada is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. This means that, although there are elected officials, the royalty holds power to veto and overturn any of the separate heads of government's decisions, and holds more power in general. Like, a lot more power. The cabinet includes our supreme leader, Toru Adachi, head of government, TonyCeesYou, Minister of Education, Goku, Minister of, well, we don't know what he does, but he's pretty cool and we like him, Ryuji Sakamoto. Minister of Finance, Jerome Stevenson. Minister of Mental Health, Chris. Minister of Inclusivity, Gay Man. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Greg, parentheses, totally not a sea monster. Minister of Health, Three Fortuna, partially, empty drawer. And finally, Minister of Finance 2, which is separate from the first Minister of Finance and leads an entirely different department, but is equally as important and does the same thing, King Bach. Aside from our government, our populace is extremely important to us. Here's a guide to the map of Ryujanada. Here are the Ryujan Plains, home to the Sorta capital,
The fog is coming.
the Adachian Peaks, Ryusa, home to the capital of Ryusa, open parentheses, same name as region, close parentheses, the central Ryujanada tundra, and finally, the rolling Ryuji Hills. With a population of 158,285.379, Ryujanada has a relatively small population. It has 13.6% more men than women, which means that at least 10% of the male population won't get married. Losers. We have no graveyard, as we throw our bodies into the ocean, lest they get angry. And we have a surrounding sea beast population. The upper tribe of sea beasts, called the are an extremely aggressive group of sea monsters. There are conspiracy theories going around that the sea monsters are actually quite nice, and harbor a nation that is much more economically successful than us. But those are lies spread by extremists amidst the Adachian Peaks, and are definitely not true. Speaking of economic success, if Ryujanada continues the way it's going now, if even a fraction of the population is left in 50 years, it'll be a miracle, as our wise and powerful leader banned aid from the sea beasts, which are evil. Do not believe the lies. As we move over to Ryusa, open bracket, same name as region, close bracket, with the full name of the town, we get introduced to a more civil town, which has a system known as Seas Points, or CP. Seas Points are used as a type of social credit. When you say anything bad about Adachi, you get Seas Points removed. Now luckily, as seen on screen, there's a way to gain CP. You earn CP by being a good citizen, and not spreading slanderous rumors about sea monsters like some people! Now, the police might try to seize your CP, but that only happens if you do something bad. Run out of CP, and you're sent to live in...
The fog is coming.
Now, we speak out some very interesting laws in Ryujanada. Note that these aren't all laws, not even close. These are just some really crazy ones I wanted to talk about. A specific law involving education passed in '08, unspecified, is the Don't Say Sea Beasts bill. Anything involving sea beasts in schools from preschool to grade 4 will be banned, and any sea beast supporting schools will be fined accordingly and dealt with ethically. Another bill that was passed recently is the 10-week wait law. Inspired by the UK, any emergencies can only be treated after 10 weeks, and if it's a serious chronic illness that requires surgery or extreme treatment, you have to wait upwards of a year, at the very least, maybe even more. A law revolving equality is known as the Roll for Oppression bill. Each person rolls a d20 dice every month. Depending on how it lands, you'll either be treated horribly or that akin to a god. 1 to 20. After rolling your dice in front of a designated official with a state-provided dice, your number will be put into the system, and you'll be treated accordingly, depending on your role. An environmental law that's been in effect since '09, unspecified, is the Osagov Law, standing for... The Osagov Law states that 5% of Ryujanada's trees must be cut down every year, and only 50% of those trees can be replaced. We hope to turn Ryujanada into an uninhabitable wasteland by... we don't really keep track of time, like the 08 and 09, that's not 2008, we really don't know, we kind of just pick numbers at random, but sometime soon. And finally, the last of these strange laws is the No Jaywalking Law. Although it's not heavily enforced, jaywalking is not allowed, and is punishable by a small fine of 50 standard Ryujan coins. Another thing I want to touch up on is that child labor is allowed. Think about it. Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. It's obvious that children yearn for the mines, so why not allow them? Hell, gives a boost to our GDP. It's genius! Also, we're legally required to inform you that Ryujanada falls on a negative 14 score on the Corruption Perceptions Index, falling 27 points below South Sudan. Alright, and that was the beautiful land of Ryujanada. Whatever you do, just don't come live here. Honestly, don't even come visit. Just don't come here. Just don't!